Hi, good morning everyone. Let's get started with our next topic, which is adding a system in SAP HANA Studio. So when you connect first to SAP HANA Studio, you will not get any systems. Okay, so HANA Studio, as you know, is a client tool which we install whenever we start working on HANA. So you install HANA Studio in your PC. Once Studio is installed, you start your HANA system, you start your HANA Studio, and once the Studio is started, you will get this as a blank screen with this welcome to modular screen. Okay, or you may get a welcome screen like this. Okay, so basically these are the two screens that you most probably get when you start working on the HANA system. Okay, so here the screen is coming up. So either you get this screen or you get this particular screen. If I close this, you can see that this is the screen that you will get. This is the welcome to modular screen. Okay, so once you are in this particular screen, there are no systems on the left side. So what you need to do is you need to add systems. So what is a system? System is actually your HANA databases. So whatever databases that you want to work on, you will add those databases, the HANA databases here. So how do we add them? We can just right click here and click on add system. Okay, so we can directly add the systems. Now let me add one system here and we will see that how that system gets added, what is the information we need to supply while adding the system. So first thing what we need to do is we need to add the host name or IP address of the system so that it will try to establish connection with the system. And now it has the IP address or the host name. And second thing is it needs the system number. So when you do HANA database installation, it needs to be installed with a particular instance number, which is in this case is 00. And for security reason, you may use HTTPS connection for the SAP start service. So in case if your HANA database is enabled for HTTPS, you need to enable this option. Okay, in my case it is not, so I will not select this option. Now let me give some name to this. Okay, so this is a descriptive name. We can say, okay, SAP HANA test system. Okay, so now this is the HANA test system and this ID indicates that this is the SID for the system, just for the indicative purpose. Now here you can see that locale is English and add to the folder slash. Okay, we will see how we can create the folders there. Now let me click on next. So just take note of this information. This is your host name or IP address, instance number. So this instance number indicates that, say for example, if the instance number is 00, so from your laptop or desktop, this particular port, that is port number 3615, so that port should be open, otherwise you won't be able to connect. Okay, so this IP and the port number is that we just mentioned, that this is the port number that should be enabled, or that port should be. Okay, just to recap that if you want to connect to HANA system having IP address this, you should have port number 30015 open, provided your system number is 00. Say your system number is say 10, the port that should be opened is 31015. That is 3 system number and the port number. So that port must be opened. Okay, apart from that, there is another port which is required to be open, which is 5 then system number 13 or 5 system number 14, depending on whether it is an HTTP or HTTPS connection. Okay, so these are the two ports that must be opened. Okay, so these are the two ports which you must make sure that before you start working on HANA systems, these two ports are open. And there is one more port which need to be opened, is the SSH port. So what is SSH? So when you connect to this, being a Linux box, it is a Linux OS, that is HANA database is installed on SUSE Linux. So SUSE Linux, this being a Linux operating system, it has SSH installed to connect from the clients. So any client, say for example your PC at OS level, if it wants to connect to Linux system, it will connect at the port number for SSH port, and by default it is 22 in case if it is not customized. And for HANA Studio, as we have seen, that the port number has to be 3, then system number in this case is 0015. Okay, apart from that, there is another port which is for the SAP Start service, that is the port number 5, system number 13 or 14, depending on it is an SSL or non-SSL connection. Okay, we will see the SAP Start service as well. Now let me click on next here. Here we need to give the username and the password using which we want to connect. So it could be any username depending on which user works in for you. Okay, so this is system user. Click on next and click on finish. So if your username password is correct, what will happen is that it will log in, but in case if it is not correct, it will say that the username or password is incorrect, and then you just it will give another option that you can use SID-ADM to connect. SID-ADM, it's like a system identification. So say for example I have system which is having SIDS HN1. So this is an indicator that this is your database which is SN1. Okay, so I'll just click on no and I will re-enter that particular password. So I'll just go back and re-enter the password. Okay, so I will re-enter the password and we will click on next again and click on finish. Okay, now in this particular case here you can see that if the password is correct, this entry will be added here, and you can see the SID for the system, that is the SID, system identificator. Okay, and once it is added, you will see these entries here. So this is how you add the system in the HANA Studio. Once the system is added, what you will do is you will come here and select your system. Okay, so you will make sure that your system is correct. Why it is required? Because there are chances that you may be working on say hundreds of systems or say 5 or 6 systems, but you would like to make sure that you are working on the right system. Okay, so just make sure that just select the system, click on this drop down, select your system, whatever system is there, and just double click on that. This makes sure that you are in the right system. Okay, in case if you have just one system in your environment, you don't have to worry about this. So now we are connected to this particular system, and what we can do is if we have many systems, we can organize them in folders. So if I right click here, okay, so I will just close this thing first, and if I right click here, okay, so basically what I am trying to do here is that I am trying to create a folder here. So here you can see that new. Okay, so what we will do is we will add it either in this particular folder which I have created here, or I can just right click here and create a new folder. So I will just rename this new folder as say my development system, dev systems. Okay, or I can name it as my production systems depending on the environment, and I can just drag this system from here to this environment. Okay, so that this will ensure that when I'm coming and working on the environment, I can quickly go and identify my environment and can select the right system to work on. Okay, so that is pretty much I wanted to cover in this particular topic. So what we have done here is that we have added a system, that is HANA system, on which we will be working on. Okay, in the next training, we'll see how we can add users to this particular system and start creating our models. Thank you for joining and have a nice day. Bye-bye.